Mafia Boss discovered his chef crying in the kitchen. Dominic Valentino worked late most nights. Building an empire required sacrifice. Sleep, relationships, normal life. Tonight was no different. Business meetings until midnight. Paperwork until 2. His stomach reminded him he'd skipped dinner again. The estate kitchen was supposed to be empty. Staff dismissed hours ago. But lights spilled under the door. And sounds. Quiet. Broken. Someone weeping. Dominic opened the door silently. Years of moving through dangerous spaces made him naturally stealthy. What he saw stopped him completely. His chef, sitting on the floor, back against the industrial refrigerator, face buried in her hands, shoulders shaking with sobs so desperate they seemed to tear from her chest. Dominic had employed this woman for 3 years, maybe 4. He couldn't remember exactly when she'd started, couldn't recall her name without checking files. She was just there, always, making meals, keeping the kitchen running, invisible the way good staff should be. Now she sat broken on his floor, and suddenly Dominic saw her, really saw her. Mid-30s, delicate features, dark hair pulled back severely, clothes that hid her frame, everything about her designed to disappear. "Are you injured?" Dominic asked. His voice made her jump. She scrambled to her feet, wiped her face frantically, tried to compose herself. "Mr. Valentino, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were still awake. I'll leave immediately. This won't happen again." "I asked if you're injured," Dominic repeated, ignoring her apology. "No, I'm fine. Just tired. I apologize for the disturbance." "You're crying on my kitchen floor at 2 in the morning," Dominic observed. "That's not fine." "What happened?" "Nothing. Really. I'm just emotional tonight. It won't affect my work. I promise." Dominic studied her. The way she wouldn't meet his eyes. The defensive posture. The trembling hands she tried to hide. This wasn't exhaustion. This was terror. "What's your name?" Dominic asked. The woman blinked, surprised. "I've worked for you for 3 years." "I know. I'm asking anyway." "Sophia. Sophia Chen." "Sophia, sit down. Tell me what's wrong." "Mr. Valentino, I appreciate your concern, but this is personal. It has nothing to do with you or my employment. I should go." "You're crying in my kitchen," Dominic said firmly. "That makes it my business. Now sit. Talk. Or I'll assume the worst and investigate myself. Your choice." Sophia's face went pale. "Please don't investigate. Please. I'm begging you. Just let this go." "Why would an investigation scare you?" Dominic asked, his instincts firing. Something was very wrong here. "Because I'm hiding," Sophia whispered. "And if you dig into my life, if you alert anyone official, he'll find me. And when he does, I'll never see my daughter again." Dominic's expression hardened. "Explain. Everything. Now." Sophia collapsed into a chair, like strings holding her upright had been cut. She looked at Dominic. This man who'd employed her for years but never noticed her. This dangerous man who suddenly wanted answers. "My ex-husband," Sophia began, her voice shaking. "His name is Richard Chen. We divorced 4 years ago. He was abusive, controlling, violent. When I finally left, when I finally found courage to take our daughter Maya and run, he used his connections, his money, his power. He filed for custody, claimed I was unstable, unfit, dangerous." "Were you?" Dominic asked bluntly. "No," Sophia said firmly. "I was a victim trying to survive. But Richard has resources, lawyers, judges on his payroll. He manufactured evidence, fake psychiatric evaluations, doctored police reports, made me look insane. The court believed him, gave him full custody, issued a restraining order against me. I'm not allowed within 500 feet of my own daughter." Dominic's hands clenched. "How old is she?" 7. "She was 3 when he took her. I haven't seen her in 4 years. Haven't held her. Haven't heard her voice except through photos Richard's lawyers send. Proof she's alive. Proof I've lost her." "Why are you hiding?" Dominic asked. "If there's a custody order, you should be fighting it. Appealing. Getting better lawyers." "I tried," Sophia replied, tears streaming freely now. "For 2 years I fought. Different lawyers. Different judges. Richard blocked everything. His connections run deep. Every appeal denied. Every motion rejected. Then his lawyers made it clear. If I didn't stop fighting, if I didn't disappear, Richard would make sure I never saw Maya again. Not even photos. Not even proof she's alive. So I stopped. Changed my name. Changed cities. Found work where I could disappear. Your kitchen became my hiding place. And tonight, Dominic prompted. Why are you crying tonight specifically? Sophia pulled out her phone, showed Dominic a photo. A little girl, maybe 7, dark hair, bright smile, standing next to a man. Richard Chen, wealthy, confident, smug. Maya's birthday is tomorrow, Sophia whispered. She'll be 8. I won't be there. Won't see her blow out candles. Won't hear her laugh. Won't get to hold her and tell her I love her. Richard sends these photos on purpose. Reminds me what I've lost. What he's taken. Tonight, I just couldn't hold it together anymore. Dominic stared at the photo. This child who didn't know her mother was alive. This woman who'd spent 3 years cooking his meals while her heart broke every day. This injustice that had happened while he'd been too busy building his empire to notice. Richard Chen, Dominic said slowly. Wealthy businessman. Connections to city council. Owns several properties downtown. That Richard Chen. Sophia's eyes widened. You know him? Of him, Dominic replied. He's been trying to buy property in my territory. Making offers. Pushing boundaries. I've had my people watching him. Didn't know about his personal life, though. He's powerful, Sophia said desperately. Connected. Untouchable. Please, Mr. Valentino. Forget I said anything. Forget you saw me tonight. I'll be more careful. I'll keep my pain private. Just don't dig into this. Don't alert him I'm here. I've stayed hidden this long. I just need to keep going. Dominic was quiet for a long moment. Processing. Calculating. Seeing opportunities Sophia couldn't imagine. No, Dominic said finally. No, Sophia repeated. Confused. No, you're not staying hidden. No, you're not accepting this. No, Richard Chen doesn't get to keep your daughter. Sophia, you've been invisible for 3 years. Working in my kitchen. Suffering in silence. That ends tonight. You don't understand, Sophia protested. Richard has judges. Lawyers. Politicians. He's built walls I can't climb. Walls that keep me from Maya. Then we'll tear down the walls, Dominic said simply. Sophia, I'm Dominic Valentino, head of the Valentino family. Richard Chen thinks he's powerful because he bribes judges. I own those judges. He thinks he's connected. My connections go deeper. He thinks he's untouchable. He's never faced someone who actually has power. Why would you help me? Sophia asked, voice breaking. I'm just your chef. You didn't even know my name until 5 minutes ago. Because for 3 years you've cooked my meals, Dominic replied. Fed me. Kept me functional while I built my empire. And I never noticed. Never thanked you. Never saw that you were suffering. That's on me. That's my failure. So now I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get your daughter back. And I'm going to make Richard Chen regret ever taking her. He'll destroy you, Sophia whispered. He destroys everyone who opposes him. Dominic smiled. Cold. Dangerous. Absolutely certain. Sophia. Richard Chen destroys regular people. People without resources. People without power. I'm not regular people. And by dawn tomorrow, he's going to learn the difference between being connected and actually being dangerous. He pulled out his phone. Made a call. Vincent. Wake up. I need everything on Richard Chen. Everything. His businesses. His properties. His connections. His secrets. And I need it in 2 hours. This is priority 1. Dominic hung up. Looked at Sophia. This woman who'd been invisible. This mother who'd lost everything. This chef who'd suffered while making his breakfast. Get some sleep, Dominic said. Tomorrow we start planning. Tomorrow we get Maya back. Tomorrow Richard Chen's world starts falling apart. I don't know what to say, Sophia whispered. Say you trust me, Dominic replied. Say you'll let me help. Say you'll stop hiding and start fighting. Can you do that? Sophia looked at this man. This criminal. This stranger who'd finally seen her. Who offered salvation when she'd given up hope. Yes, Sophia said. I trust you. And in that moment, everything changed. For Sophia. For Dominic. For Maya. For Richard Chen. Because Dominic Valentino had just declared war. Not for territory. Not for profit. For a chef he'd never noticed and a child he'd never met. Vincent arrived 90 minutes later. Files. Laptop. 3 team members. They spread everything across Dominic's office. Richard Chen's life dissected and displayed. Boss, you were right about this guy being connected, Vincent said. But it's worse than we thought. Richard Chen isn't just wealthy. He's strategic. Built his empire specifically to manipulate systems. Judges. Lawyers. Social workers. Politicians. He owns them all. Dominic studied the files. Richard's businesses were legitimate fronts. Real estate development. Investment firms. charitable foundations. Everything designed to create influence, to buy power, to control outcomes. His custody case against Sophia, Dominic said. Walk me through it. Vincent pulled up court documents. Filed 4 years ago. Claimed Sophia was mentally unstable. Presented psychiatric evaluations showing severe depression, paranoia, violent tendencies. Police reports of domestic disturbances where she was the aggressor. Character witnesses testifying she was unfit. The judge had no choice but to grant full custody to Richard. And the evidence? Dominic asked. Real or manufactured? Manufactured, Vincent confirmed. The psychiatrist who evaluated Sophia? On Richard's payroll. The police reports? Officers Richard pays to look the other way on his business dealings. The character witnesses? Employees he threatened into lying. Every piece of evidence was fake. But presented properly, it looked legitimate. What about appeals? Dominic pressed. Sophia tried 12 times, Vincent replied. Different lawyers. Different judges. Every single appeal denied. Richard paid off each judge before hearings even started. Made sure outcomes were predetermined. Sophia never had a chance. Dominic's expression went murderous. So Richard Chen systematically destroyed a woman's life. Stole her child. Used his wealth and connections to make it legal. That about summarize it. Yes, Vincent confirmed. And boss, there's more. Sophia isn't his first victim. We found 3 other ex-wives. All lost custody under similar circumstances. All disappeared afterward. Richard has a pattern. He marries women. Controls them. When they try to leave, he takes their children and destroys them legally. Where are these other women now? Dominic demanded. Dead. 2 suicides. 1 car accident that looks suspicious. Richard doesn't just take their children. He makes sure they can't fight back. Ever. Dominic stood abruptly. Rage controlled, but visible. Sophia's been hiding for 3 years. Thinking she's alone. Thinking there's no hope. While Richard collects children like trophies and murders their mothers. That's the pattern, Vincent agreed. Boss, going after Richard means war with half the city's legal establishment. Every judge he owns. Every politician on his payroll. Every lawyer protecting his interests. This gets messy fast. Good, Dominic said coldly. I want it messy. I want Richard to see everything he built crumble. I want every corrupt official he's paid to face consequences. I want Maya returned to her mother. And I want Richard Chen to understand that wealth doesn't protect you from justice. It just delays it. What's the play? Vincent asked. 2-pronged attack, Dominic replied. Legal and personal. We hit his businesses. Expose his corruption. Destroy his reputation. Simultaneously, we gather real evidence showing Sophia's custody case was fraudulent. Presented to judges Richard doesn't own. Force a retrial. Get Maya back legally. That could take months, Vincent warned. Maya's birthday is today. Sophia is breaking watching her daughter grow up without her. Then we accelerate, Dominic said. We don't wait for legal proceedings. We get Maya first. Bring her to Sophia. Let Richard try to take her back through his corrupt system. By then, we'll have destroyed that system completely. You're talking about kidnapping, Vincent said carefully. That's crossing a serious line. Richard kidnapped Maya 4 years ago, Dominic countered. He just did it legally. We're correcting an injustice. If that requires crossing lines, so be it. Sophia appeared in the doorway. She'd been listening. You can't kidnap her. Richard has security. Maya doesn't know me. She'd be terrified. This has to be done right. Right hasn't worked for 4 years, Dominic replied. Your appeals failed. Your lawyers failed. The system failed. Sophia, I respect your desire to do this legally. But legal options require time. Maya deserves her mother now. Not in 6 months when appeals finally succeed. What if Maya doesn't want me? Sophia whispered. The question that haunted her. Richard's had 4 years to poison her against me. To tell her I abandoned her. To make her hate me. What if I get her back and she rejects me? Then we deal with that, Dominic said firmly. Together. Sophia, Maya is 7 years old. 7. She deserves to know her mother. To hear your side. To make informed choices when she's older. Right now Richard's made those choices for her. That's not protection. That's control. How would we even get to her? Sophia asked. Richard keeps her isolated. Private school. Armed drivers. Security at his estate. She's surrounded constantly. Vincent pulled up surveillance photos. Richard's patterns are predictable. Every Saturday, he takes Maya to riding lessons. Same stables. Same time. Security is lighter there. 2 guards instead of 6. If we move fast, we could get her out before Richard even knows she's gone. Today is Saturday, Sophia realized. Her birthday. He'll take her to lessons this afternoon like always. He never breaks routine. Then we have 6 hours, Dominic said. Vincent, assemble a team. Light touch. No violence unless absolutely necessary. Our goal is extraction, not confrontation. Get Maya to a safe location. Bring Sophia. Let them reunite away from Richard's influence. And when Richard discovers she's missing? Vincent asked. He'll call police. Judges. Everyone he owns. He'll claim Sophia violated the restraining order. Kidnapped Maya. We'll all be arrested. Let him try, Dominic replied. By the time police respond, we'll have evidence of Richard's manufactured custody case. Proof he's paid off judges. Documentation of his other victims. We'll flood the media. Turn public opinion against him. Make this about corruption, not kidnapping. Richard's power comes from operating in shadows. We're dragging everything into light. The plan crystallized quickly. Dominic's team would intercept Maya during the transfer between car and stables. Create a distraction. Extract her cleanly. Bring her to a secure location where Sophia waited. Give mother and daughter time to reconnect. Meanwhile, Vincent's people would leak evidence of Richard's corruption to media outlets. Create a firestorm Richard couldn't control. This is insane, Sophia said. But hope flickered in her eyes. Real hope for the first time in years. This is justice, Dominic corrected. Sophia, you've spent 4 years accepting that powerful men win. That corruption is permanent. That mothers like you just lose. I'm showing you different. Richard Chen's power is an illusion, built on bribes and threats. When someone with actual power challenges him, that illusion shatters. Why are you doing this? Sophia asked. Really? You barely know me. Maya's not your daughter. This isn't your fight. Dominic was quiet for a moment. Then he answered honestly. Because for 3 years you worked in my kitchen, made my meals, kept me functional, and I never noticed. Never saw you were suffering. Never acknowledged you existed beyond your function. That's on me. That's my failure as an employer and as a human. So now I'm correcting it. I'm seeing you. I'm helping you. Because that's what I should have done 3 years ago. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. You're risking everything. Your organization. Your freedom. Your reputation. For someone who was invisible to you until last night. You're not invisible anymore, Dominic replied. And Sophia, understand something. I've built an empire on power. On control. On making people fear me. But what's the point of power if I don't use it for something meaningful? Getting Maya back. Destroying Richard's corruption. That's meaningful. That's power with purpose. What if this goes wrong? Sophia whispered. What if Richard catches us? What if Maya gets hurt? What if? Then we adapt, Dominic interrupted. Sophia, I can't promise this works perfectly. I can't guarantee no complications. But I can promise I'll fight for Maya like she's my own daughter. I'll protect you both with everything I have. And I won't stop until Richard Chen faces consequences for what he's done. The team assembled by noon. 12 people. Specialists in extraction. Surveillance. Security. They reviewed the plan repeatedly. Timing had to be perfect. One mistake and Maya could be traumatized. Or Richard could be alerted. Or police could arrive before they extracted her. Sophia couldn't sit still. Paced Dominic's office. Checked her phone obsessively. Looked at photos of Maya. Her baby who wasn't a baby anymore. Who'd grown 4 years without her. What if she doesn't recognize me? Sophia asked. What if I'm just a stranger to her now? Then you reintroduce yourself, Dominic said. Sophia, Maya was 3 when Richard took her. She has memories of you. Fragmented maybe. Confused by Richard's lies. But somewhere in her mind, she remembers her mother. When she sees you, when she hears your voice, those memories will surface. How do you know? Sophia challenged. Because a child's bond with their mother is primal, Dominic replied. Richard can manipulate judges, bribe politicians, control systems, but he can't erase 4 years of Maya's life before he took custody. Those memories exist. We're just giving them space to resurface. At 2 o'clock, the team moved into position. The stables where Maya took riding lessons were upscale, exclusive, the kind of place wealthy families sent their children. Richard's car would arrive at 2:30. Security would do a sweep. Then Maya would be escorted inside for her lesson. The plan was to intercept during the sweep. Create a mechanical problem with Richard's car. While security investigated, another team would approach Maya. Friendly, non-threatening, claim to be stable staff. Walk her toward the building, then extract her through a service exit where Sophia waited. 30 seconds. That's all they'd have. 30 seconds between when Maya left the car and when security realized something was wrong. Dominic watched through surveillance feeds. His people in position. Everything ready. Then Richard's car pulled up. Black. Expensive. Windows tinted. The door opened. A little girl emerged. 7 years old. Dark hair like her mother's. Wearing riding clothes. Looking excited but controlled. Richard had trained her well. Be polite. Be perfect. Be what he demanded. Security did their sweep. Right on schedule. One guard stayed with Maya. The other checked the perimeter. That's when Dominic's team moved. A controlled release of transmission fluid under Richard's car. It started smoking. Not dangerous, but alarming. Security's attention shifted immediately. Now, Dominic said into his calm. A woman approached Maya. Stable uniform. Friendly smile. Hi, sweetie. Your instructor asked me to bring you inside. There's a surprise waiting for your birthday. Maya hesitated. Looked at security. They were focused on the smoking car. Calling for assistance. She made a choice. Followed the woman. They walked quickly. Not running. Not alarming. Just purposeful. Through the main building. Past other students. Toward the service exit. Security hadn't noticed yet. Still dealing with the car. The service door opened. Sophia stood there. Heart pounding. Tears streaming. For years of pain and hope colliding in this moment. Maya looked at her. Confusion flickering. Then something else. Recognition. Buried deep but surfacing. Mommy. The word shattered Sophia. She dropped to her knees. Yes, baby. It's Mommy. I'm here. I've always been here. I love you so much. Maya stood frozen. Conflicted. Daddy said you left. Said you didn't want me anymore. Said you were sick and dangerous. I know what Daddy said, Sophia replied. Voice breaking. But it's not true, Maya. I've wanted you every single day. Every moment. I've been fighting to get back to you. And now I'm here. Can I hug you? Please. Maya took a tentative step forward. Then another. Then she was in Sophia's arms. Crying. Confused. But holding tight. Like some part of her remembered. Some part knew this was her mother. We need to move, the extraction team urged. Security will realize she's gone any second. They got Maya into a vehicle. Sophia holding her. Explaining gently. We're going somewhere safe. Somewhere we can talk. I know you're scared. I know this is confusing. But Maya, I promise you're safe. I promise I love you. And I promise I'll never let anyone take you from me again. Back at the stables, security realized Maya was gone. Panic. Immediate lockdown. Calls to Richard. To police. To everyone. The birthday riding lesson had become a kidnapping. But Dominic was already moving. Media outlets received anonymous packages. Evidence of Richard's corruption. Proof his custody case was fraud. Documentation of his other victims. By the time police arrived at the stables, the story was breaking. Not about a kidnapping. About a corrupt businessman who'd systematically destroyed mothers and stolen children. Richard Chen's carefully constructed empire was collapsing. And he didn't even know it yet. Richard Chen discovered Maya was missing at 2:45. 15 minutes after extraction. His phone exploded with calls. Security frantic. Police en route. His daughter gone. Find her, Richard commanded. Voice ice. I don't care what it costs. I don't care who you have to call. Find my daughter now. But finding Maya was the least of Richard's problems. By 3 o'clock, news outlets across the city were running stories. Not about a kidnapping. About corruption. About a wealthy businessman who'd systematically destroyed families. About judges on his payroll. About manufactured evidence. About dead ex-wives. Richard's lawyers called. Panicking. The media has everything. Financial records. Court documents. Testimony from your former employees. Someone's been investigating you for months. This is catastrophic. Shut it down, Richard ordered. Call our contacts. Get stories pulled. Threaten lawsuits. Do whatever it takes. We've tried, his lawyer replied. Nobody's backing down. The evidence is too solid. The sources are protected. Richard, this isn't random. Someone powerful is coming after you. Someone with resources that match yours. Richard's mind raced. Who would dare? Who had the capability? Then it hit him. The timing. The precision. The calculated destruction. This was professional. Organized. Criminal. Dominic Valentino, Richard said. Understanding crystallizing. This is Valentino's work. The Mafia Boss? His lawyer asked. Why would he target you? Find out, Richard demanded. And get me a meeting with Valentino. Now. If he has Maya, if he's behind this, I'll pay whatever it takes to end this. Meanwhile, across the city, Sophia held her daughter in a secure apartment Dominic had arranged. Safe house. Protected. No way Richard could find them. Maya clung to her mother, crying. For years of confusion and manipulation cracking. Daddy said you were sick, that you tried to hurt me. That's why the judge said I couldn't see you. Baby, none of that's true, Sophia said gently, stroking Maya's hair. Daddy lied. To judges. To social workers. To you. I never hurt you. I never wanted to leave. Daddy took you from me using lies and money. But I've been fighting to get you back every single day. Why didn't you come get me before? Maya asked. Child logic, trying to make sense of adult cruelty. Because Daddy made it illegal for me to see you, Sophia explained. He paid judges to say I was dangerous. If I tried to take you before today, police would have arrested me. You would have been taken back to Daddy, and I might never have gotten another chance. So I waited. I planned. And today, with help from good people, I finally got you back. The man at Daddy's office, Maya said. Mr. Valentino. I've seen him. Daddy doesn't like him. Says he's dangerous. Mr. Valentino is helping us, Sophia said carefully. He's making sure Daddy can't take you away again. Maya, I know this is scary. I know you're confused. But I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Maya studied her mother's face, searching for truth, for safety, for the connection she'd been denied for years. You won't leave me again? Never, Sophia promised. Fierce. Absolute. I'll fight anyone who tries to separate us. I'll protect you with everything I have. You're my daughter, my baby. Nothing will ever change that. They spent hours talking, Maya asking questions, Sophia answering honestly, building trust that Richard had systematically destroyed. It was fragile, tentative, but real. Dominic arrived at 6, knocked softly before entering. Maya tensed immediately, recognizing danger even if she didn't understand it. Maya, Dominic said, keeping his distance. Voice gentle. My name is Dominic. I'm the one who helped bring you to your mother today. I know I seem scary. I know your father told you bad things about me. But I promise, I'm here to protect you and your mom. Nothing more. Daddy says you're a criminal, Maya said, repeating what she'd been taught. Your daddy's right, Dominic admitted. I do things that aren't always legal. But Maya, your daddy does illegal things too. He just hides them better. The difference is, I use my power to protect people. Your daddy uses his power to hurt people, to control them, to take children from their mothers. That's wrong. And I'm going to make sure he can't do it anymore. What happens now? Maya asked, looking between Dominic and her mother. Now we wait, Dominic replied. Your father is looking for you. Police are investigating. But Maya, here's what your father doesn't know yet. The whole city is learning the truth about him, about what he did to your mother, about other families he's destroyed. By tomorrow, nobody will believe his lies anymore. And when the truth comes out completely, you and your mother will be together. Legally. Permanently. Richard's call came at 7. Dominic's private line. Number Richard shouldn't have had. But money bought information. Even from Dominic's organization. Valentino, Richard said. Voice-controlled rage. You have my daughter. Return her immediately or face consequences you can't imagine. Richard Chen, Dominic replied. Calm. Almost bored. I don't have your daughter. Sophia has her daughter. There's a difference. One implies kidnapping. The other implies justice. Sophia violated a restraining order, Richard countered. She's committed multiple felonies. Kidnapping. Custodial interference. Contempt of court. She'll spend decades in prison. Only if those charges stick, Dominic said. And Richard, here's the problem. Your entire custody case was built on manufactured evidence. Paid off judges. Fabricated psychiatric evaluations. The media is already reporting it. By tomorrow, every news outlet will have the full story. Your corruption exposed. Your victims identified. Your carefully constructed lies demolished. Richard went silent. Processing. Then spoke carefully. What do you want? Money? Territory? Business concessions? Name your price and Maya comes home. Maya is home, Dominic corrected. With her mother. Where she belongs. What I want, Richard, is for you to face consequences. Real consequences. For the families you've destroyed. The women you've driven to suicide. The children you've stolen. Your empire ends today. You're making a mistake, Richard said, voice dropping, threatening. I have connections you can't touch, resources you can't match, politicians who owe me favors, judges who will rule in my favor regardless of evidence. You think exposing my corruption matters? I've survived worse. I'll survive this. Will you survive federal investigators? Dominic asked. Because they received the same evidence the media got. Financial crimes, bribery, conspiracy, wire fraud, RICO violations. Richard, you're not just losing Maya. You're losing everything. Your freedom, your wealth, your power. All of it. Gone. This isn't over, Richard replied. Maya is my daughter. I have legal custody. No amount of media manipulation changes that. I'll get her back. And when I do, Sophia will never see her again. I'll make sure of it. Try, Dominic said coldly. But Richard, understand something. Sophia isn't alone anymore. She has protection, resources, power backing her. You come after Maya, you come after me. And I promise, that's a fight you'll lose. Permanently. He hung up. Richard staring at his phone, realizing for the first time that his carefully constructed world was collapsing, that someone had outmaneuvered him, that his daughter was truly gone. Richard's next move was predictable. He called every judge he owned, every politician on his payroll, every lawyer who'd helped him destroy families. Demanded they fix this. Get Maya back. Arrest Sophia. Crush Valentino. But the calls went differently than expected. Judges claiming they couldn't help. Politicians distancing themselves. Lawyers suggesting Richard find new representation. The corruption network Richard had built was abandoning him, protecting themselves as his empire burned. By midnight, federal agents arrived at Richard's estate. Warrants, subpoenas, evidence collection. Richard's finances were frozen. His properties seized. His business operations halted. Everything he'd built over 20 years dismantled in hours. Richard Chen, you're under arrest, the lead agent said. Federal charges of bribery, corruption, wire fraud, and conspiracy. You have the right to remain silent. Richard stood in his mansion, surrounded by luxury he'd bought through cruelty, realizing that money and connections meant nothing when someone with real power decided you'd crossed the line. I want my lawyer, Richard said. Last defense of a desperate man. Your lawyers resigned an hour ago, the agent replied. Claimed conflict of interest. You're on your own now. They took him away. Handcuffed. Broken. The man who destroyed families now facing justice he'd spent years avoiding. Back at the safe house, Dominic delivered the news to Sophia. Richard's arrested. Federal charges. He won't make bail. Won't see freedom for years. Maybe decades if prosecutors get their way. Sophia, it's over. You're safe. Maya's safe. Richard can't hurt you anymore. Sophia collapsed. Relief and disbelief warring. Just like that? After 4 years of hiding. Of suffering. Of thinking I'd never see my daughter again. It's just over. It's over, Dominic confirmed. Tomorrow we file for emergency custody modification. Present the evidence of Richard's manufactured case. Get you legal custody. Make this official and permanent. Maya stays with you, where she belongs. I don't know how to thank you, Sophia whispered. You gave me back my daughter. My life. My future. How do I repay that? You don't, Dominic replied. Sophia, you spent 3 years working in my kitchen, making my life easier, asking for nothing. This is me returning the favor. Seeing you. Helping you. Making sure power protects instead of destroys. That's payment enough. Maya appeared in the doorway, hesitant. Is Daddy really arrested? Is he really not coming for me? He's arrested, Dominic confirmed gently. And even if he gets out someday, he'll never have power over you again. You and your mother are protected. Always. That's a promise. Maya ran to her mother. Held tight. I don't have to go back. I can stay with you. Forever, Sophia said. Crying. Laughing. Whole for the first time in years. You're mine. My baby. My daughter. Nothing will separate us again. Dominic watched them. Mother and daughter reunited. Justice served. Power used for protection instead of profit. This was why he'd built his empire. Not for wealth. Not for control. For moments like this, where he could right wrongs the system ignored. Boss, Vincent said quietly, entering the room. The media's going crazy. Richard's arrest is front page everywhere. People are calling him a monster, demanding investigations into every custody case he's been involved in. You've started something bigger than just Sophia and Maya. Good, Dominic replied. Let it spread. Let every corrupt judge fear exposure. Let every wealthy abuser realize money doesn't protect them anymore. Richard Chen was a symptom. The system that enabled him is the disease. We're going to cure both. Over the next week, the fallout expanded. 3 judges resigned. Dozens of lawyers disbarred. Politicians investigated. Richard's entire corruption network exposed and dismantled. And at the center of it all, one simple truth. Sophia Chen had been given back her daughter. The custody hearing happened 10 days after Maya's birthday. Different judge. Clean reputation. No connection to Richard. The evidence was overwhelming. Manufactured psychiatric reports. Paid-off witnesses. Fabricated police records. Everything Richard had used to steal Maya exposed as fraud. I'm granting full custody to Sophia Chen, the judge ruled. With a permanent restraining order against Richard Chen. He will have no contact with the minor child. No visitation rights. No legal standing. Ms. Chen, your daughter is yours. Legally and permanently. I apologize that it took this long for justice to prevail. Sophia held Maya. Both crying. Both free. For years of separation ended. Future open and bright. Outside the courthouse, media surrounded them. Questions. Cameras. Attention Sophia had never wanted. But Dominic's people cleared a path. Protected them. Got them to safety. What now? Sophia asked that evening. Back at Dominic's estate. Her home for the moment while she figured out next steps. Now you rebuild, Dominic replied. Find a place to live. Enroll Maya in school. Start the life Richard stole. Sophia, you're free. Truly free. Make the most of it. What about my job? Sophia asked. Do I still work for you? Dominic smiled. Do you want to? Yes, Sophia said without hesitation. Your kitchen became my sanctuary. The place I could disappear and just cook. Create. Find peace in chaos. I don't want to lose that. Then you don't have to, Dominic replied. Keep cooking. Keep running my kitchen. But Sophia, you're not invisible anymore. You're seen. Valued. Appreciated. That changes things. Changes how? Sophia asked. Dominic was quiet for a moment, then answered honestly. Because somewhere in the last 2 weeks, between discovering you crying on my floor and watching you reunite with your daughter, you became important to me. Really important. Sophia, I've spent my life using power for control, for profit, for empire building. You reminded me that power should protect, should serve justice, should make life better for people who deserve better. You changed how I see everything. Sophia stared at him. Dominic, are you saying? I'm saying I care about you, Dominic interrupted. More than an employer should. More than makes sense. You were invisible for 3 years. Now you're all I see. Sophia, I'm not asking for anything. I'm just being honest. You matter to me. You and Maya both. 3 months after Maya's birthday, the city had transformed. Richard Chen's arrest sent shockwaves through every corrupt system he'd touched. 15 judges faced ethics investigations. 30 lawyers lost their licenses. 2 politicians resigned in disgrace. The custody fraud network Richard had built collapsed completely. But the real transformation was quieter, more personal, happening in Dominic's kitchen. Sophia cooked like she always had, but different now. No longer hiding, no longer invisible. She moved through the space with confidence, with joy, with the peace of someone who'd finally reclaimed her life. Maya sat at the kitchen island, doing homework, chattering about school, about friends, about her riding lessons that continued at different stables. Safe ones where Richard's shadow didn't linger. Mom, can I ask you something? Maya said one evening while Sophia prepared dinner. Always, baby, Sophia replied, chopping vegetables with practiced precision. Why does Mr. Valentino look at you like that? Maya asked, child perception cutting through adult pretense. Sophia's knife paused. Like what? Like you're the most important person in the world, Maya said simply. Like when I look at my favorite ice cream. That kind of happy. Sophia laughed despite herself. Mr. Valentino is just being kind. He helped us when we needed it most. That creates gratitude. That's not gratitude, Mom, Maya countered. 8 years old, but reading emotions like someone much older. That's something else. And you look at him the same way. When you think I'm not watching. Sophia set down her knife. Sat beside her daughter. Maya, Mr. Valentino and I have become close. He saved us. Protected us. Gave us our life back. It's natural to care deeply about someone who does that. Do you love him? Maya asked directly. The question hung in the air. Heavy. Complicated. True. I don't know, Sophia admitted. Maybe. It's complicated. Mr. Valentino lives a dangerous life. He's good to us, but he's also involved in things I don't always understand. Things that could put us at risk. He'd never let anyone hurt us, Maya said with absolute certainty. When Daddy was arrested, when everything was scary, Mr. Valentino promised I was safe. And I believed him. I still do. Mom, if you love him, that's okay. He's not like Daddy. He's actually good. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. When did you get so wise? When I had to grow up without you, Maya replied. Honest, but not bitter. Daddy taught me to watch people, to see who's real and who's pretending. Mr. Valentino is real. He doesn't pretend. That's rare. That evening, after Maya was asleep, Sophia found Dominic in his office, working late like always, building his empire while protecting those who needed it. We need to talk, Sophia said from the doorway. Dominic looked up, immediately focused. Is Maya okay? She's fine, Sophia assured. This is about us. About what's happening between us. Dominic, we've been dancing around this for months. You care about me. I care about you. But we haven't addressed what that means. What it could become. Dominic set down his pen, gave her his complete attention. What do you want it to mean? I don't know, Sophia admitted. 3 months ago, I was hiding. Broken. Convinced I'd never see my daughter again. You changed that. Gave me everything back. Now I'm trying to figure out if what I feel is gratitude or something more. And whether that something more is even possible given who you are and what you do. You're questioning if you can be with someone like me, Dominic said. Understanding completely. Someone who operates outside the law. Who uses violence when necessary. Who's built power on criminal enterprise. That's fair. That's reasonable. Sophia, I won't lie to you. My world is dangerous. Being with me means accepting risks you've already faced enough of. But you're also the man who destroyed corruption to save my daughter, Sophia countered. Who used your power to protect instead of exploit. Who made me feel seen after years of invisibility. Dominic, you're complicated. But you're also honorable in ways Richard never was. That matters. Dominic stood, crossed to where she stood, close but not touching, giving her space to choose. Sophia, I told you months ago that you became important to me. That hasn't changed. If anything, it's grown stronger. Watching you rebuild. Watching you parent Maya. Watching you transform my kitchen from a hiding place into a home. You've become essential. To my life. To my purpose. To who I want to be. I'm still scared, Sophia whispered. Of caring too much. Of losing what we've built. Of Maya getting hurt if your enemies come after you. Then we're careful, Dominic replied. We protect what matters. We build something real but sustainable. Sophia, I can't promise perfect safety. My life doesn't allow that. But I can promise I'll fight for you and Maya with everything I have. That you'll never face danger alone. That my power protects you both. Always. Maya asked if I love you, Sophia said. I didn't know how to answer. What do you think the answer is? Dominic asked gently. Sophia looked at him. This dangerous man. This protector. This person who'd changed her entire world. I think the answer is yes. I think I've been falling in love with you since the night you found me crying. Since you asked what was wrong instead of ignoring me like you'd done for 3 years. Since you declared war on Richard without hesitation. I think I love you, Dominic Valentino. And that terrifies me. Dominic's hand came up to cup her face. Gentle despite his capacity for violence. It terrifies me too. I've never cared about someone the way I care about you. Never had something worth protecting beyond my organization. You and Maya changed that. Made me want more than just power. Made me want a life. A future. Something real. He kissed her. Soft at first. Then deeper. Months of restrained feelings finally released. When they broke apart, both were breathless. What do we tell Maya? Sophia asked. The truth, Dominic replied. That we care about each other. That we're going to try this. That our family is expanding. Because Sophia, that's what we are now. Family. You, me, Maya. Together. They told Maya the next morning. Over breakfast that Sophia had prepared. The kitchen that had been her hiding place, now the center of their emerging family. So you're together now? Maya asked. Practical. Direct. Child logic cutting through complexity. Yes, Dominic confirmed. Your mother and I care deeply about each other. We're going to build something together. If that's okay with you. Maya looked between them, considering, then smiled. Does this mean we get to stay here? In this house? Because my room is really nice and I don't want to move. Sophia laughed. Relief and joy mixing. Yes, baby. We can stay. If that's what we all want. I want it, Maya declared. Mr. Valentino, can I call you something other than Mr. Valentino? That's really formal for someone who's basically my stepdad now. Dominic's expression softened. What would you like to call me? Dominic, Maya suggested. Or Dom. Or maybe eventually something else when it feels right. Dominic works, he replied, voice thick with emotion. And Maya, I want you to know something. I'm not trying to replace your father. I know Richard hurt you and your mother. That relationship is complicated. But I want to be someone you can trust. Someone who protects you. Someone who's there when you need him. Can I be that? You already are, Maya said simply. You saved us. You gave me my mom back. You made us safe. That's what matters. So yeah, Dominic. You can be that. You already are that. The months that followed were transformation. Sophia moved from chef to partner, running Dominic's household, managing his legitimate businesses, bringing organization to his empire while maintaining the cooking that brought her peace. Maya thrived. New school, friends who didn't know her history, therapy to process 4 years of trauma, slowly healing, slowly becoming the child she should have been. And Dominic changed too. His organization shifted focus. Less exploitation, more protection, using power to defend the vulnerable instead of profiting from them. Sophia's influence evident in every decision. Richard Chen's trial happened 9 months after his arrest. Federal prosecutors presented overwhelming evidence. Financial crimes, corruption, conspiracy, the manufactured custody cases. Everything. Richard's lawyers tried every tactic. Plea bargains, technicalities, witness intimidation. Nothing worked. The evidence was too strong. The testimony too consistent. Richard's empire had been built on corruption. Now that corruption destroyed him. Guilty on all counts, the jury foreman announced. Richard's face went white. 23 years in federal prison. No parole. No early release. 2 decades of destroying families, earning him 2 decades of punishment. Sophia watched from the gallery. Maya beside her. Dominic behind them. Protection and support. When the verdict was read, Sophia didn't feel triumph. Just closure. The man who'd stolen 4 years of her life with her daughter was finally facing consequences. How do you feel? Dominic asked as they left the courthouse. Free, Sophia replied. Truly free. For the first time in 8 years. Since before I married Richard. Before the control started. Before everything fell apart. I'm finally free. 1 year after Maya's birthday, Dominic proposed. Nothing elaborate. Just the 3 of them in the kitchen. The space where everything had changed. Where Sophia had been found crying. Where their family had been born. Sophia Chen, Dominic said, holding a ring. Simple. Elegant. Perfect. You walked into my life invisible and transformed everything. You reminded me that power should protect. That strength means defending the vulnerable. That love is possible even in darkness. You made me want to be better than I am. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend my life protecting you and Maya? Being the family you both deserve. Sophia looked at Maya, who nodded enthusiastically. Permission and blessing combined. Yes, Sophia said, tears streaming. Yes, I'll marry you. I'll build this life with you. I'll love you despite the complications. Because of them. Because you're you. Dangerous and protective and honorable. Yes. Maya cheered. Hugged them both. Does this mean I'm officially a Valentino? If you want to be, Dominic said. We can make it legal. Change your last name. Give you the protection that comes with the Valentino family. But Maya, it's your choice. Your mother and I won't force anything. I want it, Maya said firmly. I want to be Maya Valentino. I want the family name that means protection. That means nobody hurts us. That means we're together always. Can we do that? We can do that, Sophia confirmed. Looking at Dominic. At the man who'd saved them. Who'd become their family. Who'd transformed their lives completely. The wedding happened 3 months later. Small ceremony. Just people who mattered. Dominic's organization. Sophia's few remaining friends. Maya as flower girl. Wearing a dress she'd chosen. Smiling constantly. During the vows, Sophia spoke from her heart. Dominic Valentino, you found me broken and made me whole. You gave me back my daughter. My purpose. My future. But more than that, you gave me partnership. You saw me when I was invisible. You valued me when I felt worthless. You protected me when I couldn't protect myself. I promise to stand beside you. To remind you that power with purpose is the only power worth having. To love you through complications and danger. To build this family together. You, me, Maya. Always. Dominic's vows were equally powerful. Sophia, you changed everything. Before you, I was powerful but empty. I controlled territory but had no purpose beyond control. You showed me that strength means protecting those who can't protect themselves. That love isn't weakness. That family is worth more than empire. I promise to protect you and Maya with everything I am. To use my power for good. To be worthy of the trust you've placed in me. You're my purpose. My family. My future. By the time they exchanged rings, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. The reception was celebration. Joy. Proof that broken people could heal. That families could be rebuilt. That love could grow from tragedy. Maya gave a speech. 8 years old, but speaking with wisdom beyond her years. 3 years ago, I didn't know my mom was alive. My father told me she was sick. Dangerous. That I was better without her. I believed him because I was little and didn't know better. Then Dominic saved us. Gave me back my mom. Showed me what real family looks like. Today I'm not just getting a stepdad. I'm getting the family I always deserved. The one where people protect each other. Love each other. Stay together. Thank you, Dominic, for seeing us. For saving us. For being our family. 6 months after the wedding, Sophia stood in the kitchen. The place where everything had changed. Where Dominic had found her crying. Where he'd asked what was wrong. Where her secret had shaken the city. Dominic joined her. Like he did every evening. Presence that had become essential. Do you ever regret it? Sophia asked. Saving me that night. Everything that came after. The war with Richard. The media attention. The changes to your organization. Dominic pulled her close. Never. Not once. Sophia, before you, I was a man with power but no purpose. Now I have both. You and Maya gave me something worth fighting for beyond territory. Worth protecting beyond profit. You made me better. That's not regret. That's gratitude. I love you, Sophia said. For seeing me. For saving me. For becoming my family. I love you too, Dominic replied. For reminding me that power should protect. For showing me what family means. For being you. They stood together. In the kitchen that had witnessed everything. Where invisible had become seen. Where suffering had become salvation. Where a secret had indeed shaken an entire city. Because sometimes transformation starts in the smallest moments. A woman crying on a kitchen floor. A man finally paying attention. A question that changed everything. Who's crying? What's wrong? How can I help? Those questions had destroyed corruption. Reunited a family. Built love from tragedy. Proved that even dangerous men could choose honor. That even broken families could heal. That power with purpose could change everything. And as Sophia and Dominic held each other in that kitchen, Maya doing homework at the island, their family was proof. Proof that speaking up matters. That protection changes lives. That love can bloom in the darkest places. Richard Chen sat in federal prison. 23 years ahead of him. Empire destroyed. Daughter lost. Legacy ruined. All because he'd underestimated a woman he'd tried to break. And the man who'd finally seen her. The city remembered. The story spread. The chef who'd been crying in the kitchen. The mafia boss who'd asked why. The secret that had exposed corruption and transformed lives. And every person trapped by powerful abusers took note. Took hope. Realized that speaking up could bring salvation. That protection existed. That families could be rebuilt. Sophia's secret hadn't just shaken one city. It had created ripples that spread everywhere. Inspiring. Empowering. Proving that one moment of courage could change everything. This story proves that being seen matters more than being powerful. That true family is built through protection and love. And that one person paying attention can transform lives. If this moved you, subscribe for more stories of redemption, family, and unexpected love. Comment below about a time someone finally saw you when you felt invisible, and share this with anyone who needs to know that speaking up can bring salvation. Your story matters. Your pain matters. And help exists in unexpected places. Thank you for watching.